I won't look at it right now. I'll look at it first. Too much? Too much? Okay. So which one is that one? Okay, for the pronunciation point this week, we're doing reduction. What is reduction? If we make reduction into a verb, what is the verb for reduction? Reduce. Reduce, good, right? So reduction becomes reduce. And what does reduce mean? Reduce, decrease, to decrease. And what does decrease mean? What's that? Plus. Okay, plus would be the opposite. Be increase. And we would say add. To add to something is to increase it, right? So decrease would be subtract. What does sub mean? Sub. What is a submarine? Under the water. So marine means water. Sub means under, right? So sub usually means under or less. So subtract means to make it lower, right? So reduce, what does reduce mean? To make something shorter or smaller or less, okay? So reduce means to make the sound smaller, to make it shorter, to make it less of a sound. I think basically we know the idea behind this. And I'll just read it here real quick. Look at the box here. Have to, has to, and ought to. What do all three of them have? Oh, sorry, page 154. 154. Has to, have to, and ought to all have to. And from our listening before, what do we know about to? What do we do to to when we read it in a sentence? I'll say it over then. What do we do to to? We reduce it and it turns into t. Right? Either t or t. So if you say this sentence over time, what do we do? And what did I say after that? 我刚刚跟你讲的那句话是什么 What do we do? Over time. English. What do we do? To. What do we do to? What do we do? To two. Yeah. What do we do to two? So this two becomes a t. So it's to two. Right? To two. So what do we do to two? And what is this? What do we, right? Because the T and the D are similar, so they both become a D, right? So it becomes what we, right? What do we do to 2? What do we do to 2? Similar thing happens with, we have 2 and 2, right? What does that turn into? What do we do? What do we do before, eh? What do we do? But not before, because we have an R here. But what do we do for 4? What do we do for 4? Right? All of these little words that aren't very important become reduced. They get smaller, they get smashed up together. Basically, the idea for today is mostly this. We have ought to, has to, and have to. They all have to, and the focus of this is reducing that to and smashing those words together. So have to, in speaking, have to is pronounced as one word. Right? So we don't say have to, we say have to. Right? And the V, because we're lazy and we don't like to say turns into an unvoiced sound. So have to becomes have to. Have to. So I have to go to work tomorrow. Right? Have to. The letter B is pronounced F. The vowel in to is usually pronounced the. Right? So have to. This one has to. In speaking, has to is pronounced as one word. And what is it? Has to. Right? So the Z, same idea. The Z is a voiced sound, right? Zzz. So the voiced sound becomes unvoiced, and then the 2 becomes reduced. Okay? So has to. He has to go to work every day. I have to go to work tomorrow. He has to go to work every day. And ought to. In speaking, ought to is pronounced as one word. Oughta. If you go on the internet, you'll often see this. Right? We write it as one word. Not in normal writing, but on the internet where everything is smashed up together too. So it's pronounced oughta. The vowel in ought sounds like the vowel in father. Right? Oughta. The vowel in to is pronounced as So native speakers of English often change T sound in ought to a fast D sound. Oughta. Understand? Alright. And if we listen real quick to number 47. And the computer is not cooperating today. It won't let me use my keyboard, so I have to stand over here. Try to use this keyboard. So here we go.
3. C. Speaking. Pronunciation. Productions. Page 154. How's your father? I heard he got out of the hospital last week. Not very happy. His doctor says he has to quit smoking. No ifs, ands, or buts. He has to stop.
Well, you know, I quit 5 years ago. He ought to start exercising when he quits. I did, and I think it made quitting easier. Well, maybe not easier, but not so hard.
3. C. Speaking.
One more time.
Pronunciation. Before.
How's your father? I heard he got out of the hospital last week.
Not very happy. His doctor says he has to quit smoking.
He has to quit
No
smoking.
ifs, ands, or buts.
What is no ifs, ands, or buts? Yeah, no excuses. But what if I... No. But no. Okay, so no ifs, ands, or buts.
He has to stop.
Well,
He has to stop, right? This makes English for Taiwanese people a lot easier. Because in Taiwan, it's really hard to say the Z sound anyway, right? So it's okay in this situation if you don't have so much of a Z.
you know, I quit 5 years ago. He ought to start it.
He ought to start. Right?
No, I quit 5 years ago. He ought to start exercising when he quits. I did, and I think it made quitting easier. Well, maybe not easier, but not so hard.
What's the difference? To make something easier or to make it not so hard? He said it makes it easier. Well, no, it doesn't make it easier, but it makes it not so hard. What does that mean? Is it not difficult now? What do you think? It's very easy. But he said not easy. Right? He said not easy. Said, well, not easier, but not so hard. What does that mean? In the middle. Not quite in the middle. It's still really, really hard. So if you say, oh, it makes it easier, now it sounds like, oh, who cares? This is nothing. If you say it makes it easier, it sounds like it's no problem. So he says, well, it's not easier because it's not easy, but it's not so hard. It's still hard, but it's not so hard. Right? So it's not, the meaning doesn't mean anything. It's not as hard and make it easier. It means exactly the same thing. The emphasis on which word you use. If you say easy, it sounds too easy. So he says hard to make it still sound hard. All right, and number 1, page 155. We'll go through this real quick and see what we can do. 48.
Page 155. Exercise 1.
What's the matter? You look really tired.
I am. Sally, my wife, snored all night long. It was so loud that I couldn't sleep. Her snoring is getting worse and worse.
Well, you ought to use some earplugs.
Then I won't hear my alarm clock. I don't know what to do, but I have to do something.
You just have to get some sleep, my friend. Maybe you should ask your wife to go to the doctor.
That's an idea. Or maybe she could try those new anti-snoring strips.
Any questions? No? All right, I'm going to skip to the next one so we have more time to do other stuff. So 49.
Page 155. Exercise 2. 1.
Rosa, you look so tired. What's the matter?
2.
Did you know that Jim just lost his job? He's really upset.
3.
My doctor said I really ought to lose weight, but I don't think I eat too much.
4.
We need some time off. Life shouldn't be all work. We ought to have some fun.
5.
My roommate has to study tonight, so you can't come over.
6.
My computer's really slow. It's old, too. I think I have to get a new one.
A.
You have to come to the gym with me. You'll lose weight just by exercising.
B.
That's okay. I have to study too. Let's get together this weekend.
C.
I have to work late every night. I never get any sleep.
D.
You ought to get a laptop. They're not expensive, and they're very convenient.
E.
You know I can't ask for a vacation now. I just started this job 2 weeks ago. I have to work longer.
F.
He has to come to my office. My boss is looking for someone with his experience.
All right, one more time. Then we'll stop for each one.
Page 155.
Rosa, you look so tired. What's the matter?
Number 1. What's the matter? Right? What's the matter? Right? And not matter.
Rosa, you look so tired. What's the matter?
Matter. Right? T turns to a D. Right? T turns to a D. You want me to write them down? Are you okay? Should I write them down? Who wants me to write them down? Yeah? Okay. Right. So number 1 is matter, but T turns into a D. Matter.
2.
Did you know that Jim just lost his job? He's really upset.
Job and upset.
3,
My doctor said I really ought to lose weight, but I don't think I eat too much.
I really.
My doctor said I really ought to lose. My doctor said I really ought to lose.
Don't say how it's spelled, say how it sounds. Over there.
My doctor said I really ought to lose.
All the. Okay? So I really. Spelling is ought to, but we don't say ought to, we say oughta. Okay? Oughta. I really oughta. Oughta.
My doctor said I really ought to lose weight, but I don't think I eat too much.
Too much, okay? I don't think I eat too much. Okay, good.
4. We need some time off. Life shouldn't be all work. We ought to have some fun.
Time off, so we need some time off, and then what's next? Life shouldn't, and then the. All the. Hey, listen to this sound too, okay? One more time.
Touch. 4. We need some time off.
We need some, and remember, sticky vowels, we need some time off. Time off.
4. We need some time off.
Time off. Alright? The way we write and the way we speak is different, alright? We need some time off.
4. We need some time off.
Time off. 那我一直在想，如果是英文不会写下来的话，根本是两个分开的。就再听一次。
4.
Completely separate.
We need some time
We need some time
off.
off. Right? Time off.
Life shouldn't be all work.
Life. What's that? Should. What that?
Some time off. Life shouldn't be all work.
Shouldn't. But this is another, not problem, but issue with English pronunciation. And I don't know if I told you about it before. What's that? It's not mountain. What did I tell you about it before? Yeah, okay. So we have an N, or mount, T plus an N, right? Or N plus a T. Anyway, we have ready, mountain. Mountain. Not button, but right? More than button. Button. And you say goat. When you eat a goat, it's called mutton. Mutton. Are there any more? Mutton. Mutton is 羊肉. Because here we have the T at the end of the sound plus an N at the end. So we're not ready. Mountain. Button. Mutton. If you try to speak like this, you're always going to sound really weird. Because you can't learn this sound. The important thing is that you have to understand it when other people say it. So the same idea here, ready? Shouldn't. I don't think there's any way to learn how to make that sound. But when we say, we don't say shouldn't, we say shouldn't. Like, shouldn't.
Some time off. Life shouldn't be all.
Life shouldn't be all. Right? The important thing is, because of the tiger rule, boom, right? It goes down. It's a strong sound.
4,
We need some time off. Life shouldn't be all work. We ought to have some fun.
We, hold up.
Shouldn't be all work. We ought to have some fun.
We ought to have some fun.
5,
My roommate has to study tonight, so you can't come over.
Has to, but we don't say has to, we say has to. Alright? My roommate has to study tonight, so you can't come over, okay? And listen to can't one more time.
Roommate has to study tonight, so you can't come over.
You can't come over. Do you hear a T? No, so how do you know it's can't? How do you know it has a T on it? Now wait, number 1. We have the tiger rule, right? Can't. Number 2, last week we learned that if it's can, we don't say can, we say couldn't. Alright? So if he said you can come over, then you can. You can't come over is cannot.
My roommate has to study tonight, so you can't come over.
You can't come over.
6,
My computer's really slow. It's old, too. I think I have to get a new one.
My computer is really slow and it's old too, I think. Have to, alright? I have to. So have to.
Old, too. I think I have to get a new one.
I have to get a new one.
A,
You have to come to the gym with me. You'll lose weight just by exercising.
Right? You have to come to the gym with me. Have to come to the gym with me. What's next? You'll lose weight. Good. But no. Did you hear a T? Let's see.
You'll lose weight just by exercising.
You'll lose weight. Oh, it still goes down, right? Weight. You'll lose weight
You'll lose weight just by exercising.
just by exercising. Just no T either, right? Just by exercising.
B,
That's okay. I have to study too. Let's get together this weekend.
Right, that's okay. I have to. And then let's get together. Right? Get together.
C,
I have to work late every night. I never get any sleep.
I have to, but we don't say have to, we say have to. Have to.
D,
You ought to get a laptop. They're not expensive, and they're very convenient.
Right? Good. You ought to get a laptop. They're not expensive. Right? Next one.
E,
You know I can't ask for a vacation now. I just started this job 2 weeks ago. I have to work longer.
And you know I can't, but we don't say can, we say can. Alright? And I have to work longer, right? Have to work longer. And next one.
F,
He has to come to my office. My boss is looking for someone with his experience.
Right? He has to, right? He has to, and my boss, right? My boss. Give you 2 minutes. Pair these up together and practice reading. Make sure that when you get to these words, you think about how you pronounce them. Right? Think about how you pronounce the word. So, 2 people together. Three, maybe 2 or 3 people. 3 is okay. Yeah, thinking now.
David? 1,
What's the matter? But Jim just...
3,
But I don't... We need some time off. Life shouldn't be all work.
5,
My roommate has to study tonight, so you can't come over.
Okay. Exercise. Gold's gym. Lots of weights and stuff like that.